Greetings everyone, here's Lodrik and this is the game War in the Pacific Admirals Edition, and today we will check the play by email match against Jochen. Jochen is allied player and commander, and I have the order, or I have to order the forces of the Japanese Empire. We will check today the 19th March 1942. We playing scenario 1 and 1 day turn setup. The big event of last turn was I think that my carriers find a British American task force, and I was able to sink one British battleship, and here it looks like I have 3 additional torpedo hits on the Royal Sovereign, and last turn my torpedo bombers for my carrier fleet was able to hit this battleship twice, and I think at least one with flotation damage. And one of my submarines, of course, every submarine I had in range, original for the hunt of Hermes, I redirected to the location where I saw them and calculated the path to Colombo. We can see this here. I think we had the air engagement in this hex, or in this hex, I don't know more. But anyway, my at least 153, the I-153 found the Royal Sovereign, find the target and hit it with 3 out of 6 torpedoes, so 50% torpedo hit. This is very high hit chance, so perfect score. With a little luck, this ship will go down, and if not, it's out of the game for 1 year or something like this. Let's see or hear if there's any sound. Yeah, very likely now that the Royal Sovereign is dead. So what my carriers start, my submarines can end here. Means now 1 light cruiser, 1 destroyer I think, and 2 battleships are dead. Hermes very likely also dead because there was no sight of her. So a big blow against the Jochen's India Ocean fleet. After so many setbacks and so many failure of my submarines in the last turns. Now payback time. Oh, and this San Francisco was also able to get a hit last turn with a torpedo. And now again, 1, 2, 3 torpedo hits, 4 torpedo hits. Oh, 4 out of 4, 100% hit chance. So that is, don't ask me if this is even possible to get 4 out of 4 hits. No cruiser, this is hardly to survive by a battleship. Even these are row torpedoes. Rowboat torpedoes have I think the size, the diameter is the same, but I think they are shorter. So they have, I think, 25% less damage potential, these torpedoes, but still, for a heavy cruiser, this is normally enough to sink every heavy cruiser in the game. So let's listen. Yeah. So battleship dead, heavy cruiser dead. But there's always something to let you feel down. There's the trusty. Don't ask me. I think this is a British submarine. I don't check what kind of torpedo it was, but I think it's a British torpedo submarine. So, but out of 6 torpedoes, only 1 torpedo hit. And this is skill, or not have skill. And this is only a cargo ship, so easy to hit, but no, cannot hit. Tja, Jochen, better train your skippers a little more. Go big, give up, surrender. Yeah, so I lose here 1 squadron. And of course the ship may be sink, but this is the other topic. So my carriers are scouted, of course, to avoid detection. Now my ground attack on this retreating Australian forces south of Darwin. And yeah, I can damage them. Nice. Now my dive bombers the same in Mindanao. Slow them down. A little damage. Now we see bombardment in China. Always the same, trying to slow down Jochen's retreat. After Jochen decided to make a full retreat, I have only the option to make maximum airstrikes and maximum pursuit, try to catch up and kill everything what is too slow. And this airstrike will be a little costly for me, it will be a little strange for me. I don't want to break it too much, but if you can see the numbers going hard down. 9 damage, key 30s plus 2 instant kills. I mean, for altitude attack out of 7,000 feet, this is a little, I don't know. But these are all these Chinese forces out of Changsha, so this is maybe the best Chinese troops Jochen have. At least with the best anti-aircraft equipment. So I must maybe change the altitude for 10,000 if I attack this deck. Yeah, also 1 kill by flag. Normally I don't must have too much damage, I only need to slow them down, so I will change my altitude to 10,000. I think this is the best altitude for still creating damage but avoiding most of a light and medium flag. And there is normally no heavy flag on Chinese side. So luckily nothing surprised my carriers. I was a little worried that maybe Jochen come out with all his 4 carriers and 4 or 3, whatever. Then maybe find my carriers. So I try to avoid every confrontation. I'm not so strong. But I created also enough damage, I think, first. Still, light cruiser, destroyer, battleships and more battleships. This is all nice equipment, but yeah. Now Jochen come to finish off my zeros and Port Blair, and there's simply no real way for me to save them. I only try to bring in supplies, use the supplies to repair my zeros, but at the same time Jochen damaged my airplanes and my base. So it's a more or less impossible task. So 1 zero is destroyed. So at least 2 zeros are destroyed on the ground. So the trusty again. This time my destroyers are fighting back. Then I can create here 4 hits. If this is enough is another question. This is normally not even heavy damage, nothing more. So, but then Jochen is so eager and so aggressive to send his submarines here into my port. A little surprise. So air war is already over. Now we're coming to land battles. Bombardment here in the north. And again, slowly but steadily every day I can ship away some of this Chinese forces, or at least they're getting much stronger. And I catch up with the heavy coastal artillery unit. And this unit is now destroyed. Not that there was really much left. So only 7 support units and 1 gun. So light losses only. But the unit is dead. It's impossible to rebuild. I mean, Jochen can now reform this unit, then 3 months later, or some 3 or 6 months later they're coming, and then you can rebuild this unit completely. But for the next 3 months it is at least out of the game. So the New Zealand brigade still holding here, but not today. Today it's over. The 7th Japanese division was successful. No only light damage for me, and it's now end of any resistance. Fiji is conquered, and this operation is like Darwin, successfully finished. Here I pick up the surrounding islands now. And that was a turn. So not really too much activity. But at the end, a good outcome. Fiji finally over, was a question of time, but it's also like Darwin, finally over. Then my subs was able to finish 2 heavy units. That will also make it more easy, let's say this, and I get 1 more fleet destroyer. Nice. So we arrive at the 20th March 1942. The air war was in favor for Jochen. I lost in total 4 of my light bombers in China, flak and damage. Also 2 medium bombers. So 7 bombers in China, plus 2 zeros on the ground. And 1 of my recon airplane gets written off. But you can see that at least the cruiser is dead. Because these are American Seagull scout planes, and they are with heavy cruiser. But I don't see here British scout plane, so maybe the battleship, maybe Royal Sovereign is still in the game. Oh, I'm not so sure. But I'm not sure if the Royal Sovereign have no scout planes. I don't know if it's possible to see this. Because this turn, I only see the San Francisco, and the San Francisco is have normally AC capacity is normally scout planes 4. If I go for all day Japanese only battleships. Oh, now here's no Royal Sovereign. But it's the same class, and there's 1 scout plane. So I would normally, if I sink this ship, so maybe Royal Sovereign still is in the game. But with 3 or 4, now I think in total 5 torpedoes, that ship is crippled, completely crippled. I think it's impossible to fix it in the next 2-3 months. 5 torpedo hits, I would say it's for sure in the shipyard for a half year or more. So my subs are successful, but now I have no information about any task force more, and I'm not more sure if there's anything left. And I come too close to Colombo with Jochen, his anti-submarine Air Force, so I really take the win and leave the field, and maybe we see us another day. So the operation was successful, but only still I'm not so sure and confident about Hermes. It's hard to see if she sunk or not. But at the end, if I took out now 2 battleships, a heavy cruiser and a light cruiser, plus 1 destroyer, I'm not more sure, but something like this, it's enough. It's enough, I would say. So I took my carriers to source, and then I will retreat and reform, and maybe in 1 or 2 weeks I can come back. Something like this. Port Blair is nothing I can really do. Jochen bombard me here, and I have still no option to really answer this. I fly in supplies and I try to fix here, but the damage is too high, and if no supplies are left, I cannot use the supplies to fix my airplanes, and then I cannot never fly them out. Good. Nothing really else happened here. The industry and the oils of Palmbang are working well. So now a lot of fuel. You can see here 1,000 refineries, or 1,001, and each refinery will produce. So I produce 9,009 fuel per day plus I think 1,000 supplies. Oh, I don't know more. Was it 9 plus 1? I think it was 9 plus 1. So one refinery produces 9 fuel and 1 supplies per day. Yeah, okay. So it means all repair, and I need not too much repair here, but I need here 19,000 supplies to fix the refineries and 18,000 for the oil. Once this is done, I have no, this is all repaired already, or was never damaged. I'm not more sure if I have to repair anything else here. This was a big oil. Here's a small oil, is also repaired. And this is all repaired. Or at least what needs to be repaired is repaired. Yeah, okay. So the most important is normally here the oil and here the oil. These two are the oil of Sumatra. Yeah, I don't have really much to say in this turn, because not any big change happened on other engagement. Repair of Tarakan looks fine. This is only always for the long run. Oops. So only 1 refinery is left and 1 oil, so this is also nearly done. I have enough supplies here. Once I finish the repair here, I can bring the supplies to normally Balikpapan. Here still, you need 10,000 supplies before you can start a repair. And here still 9 plus 9, so not a lot to repair here. So I need here maybe 20,000 supplies in Balikpapan to fix the oil damage. The biggest construction work is still here in Miri. I need here still 126,000 supplies for the refineries and 130,000 for the oil. And Soabaya needs still the shipyard. I normally must bring up to, I don't know, I normally bring it up to a 50. But now I don't operate here any battleships, so I wouldn't maybe say, okay, maybe I keep 16, this is enough for every heavy cruiser and destroyer and everything else. Light industry, I cannot even think about repair. So the refinery is the biggest point with 150, and the oil is 181. So here's still a lot to repair. Resources I don't need, manpower I don't need. So I catch up with, or I win this small battle here in Darwin. Now I go more source. Here still 7 units running. I slow them down. And I don't know who's faster, because I can run with movement and Jochen only with combat speed, so I'm normally always 25% or 50% faster, more or less, nearly double speed. But Jochen can go directly to the space, and I can only walk to the next hex where is the enemy, and then I must slow down. So I am not really sure who is faster at the end. We will see. Yeah. And my limitation is normally here, I think, this space. Daily waters is, I think, the end of a line for me. Everything source of this is too deep and will always simply disrupt my operations. All I need is take Darwin and maybe the north coast to make sure that here is simply nothing what can operate near to Balikpapan and Java, or make it more hard. Good. A short look on Fiji, not much to say. Suva is now under Japanese control. But here is only some resources. I took them all, no damage, fine. But it's only 5. This will not change anything. What I have to do is now bring up the port, bring up the airfield, install here a new navy base. Then I can use Suva, Truk, and Rabaul. These are the 3 main bases I will operate here. Luganville and Tulagi are second-class navy bases, but still for Air Force important, but not so much maybe for the Navy. And yeah, of course I will still try to catch up all of the bases here to secure, mainly make it more hard for Jochen to take back Fiji. But now we can start the siege on Nomaya. And the question is how many supplies Jochen have in Nomaya, how long he can wait. Because my time is out, I have no amphibious assault bonus more, so I would say I can now wait 2-3 months. Jochen must come. He must bring in supplies to Australia. It's the East Coast or it's the West Coast. Yeah. So, anything else? Anything else? Not really. There's maybe the missed opportunity to take Port Moresby. I think if you want to take Port Moresby with, then you must take Port Moresby in the first months of the war, or better in the first 2. I think in December. It's simply too easy for the Allies to bring in additional AAV to Port Moresby, and it's a jungle, so hard to attack, and you must make a amphibious assault. So yeah. I was too slow for this. Same as Nomaya. In the Kilroy game I have other setup, so you can watch it there and see how it's play out. But here it's, I was not successful with Port Moresby, I was not successful with Nomaya. And now I have it much more complicated. More complicated, but still no real defeat. The main goal is still isolate. I mean, if it's possible to completely cut off the supply lines or at the east side of Australia, that is the maximum goal, or the best. I mean, the number 1 goal, more or less, in strategic thinking. Of course, you can also say invade Australia, but this is as a topic. So number 1 goal is make it very hard or impossible for the Allies to run any supply lines to Australia and New Zealand. And yeah, the number 2 goal is catch so many bases, build them up and build them hard and steady, that the Allies need more time to reconquer them, or that they bleeding dry in their attempt. This is heavily related to how many battleships and carriers you can sink. I think this is the main purpose for the Allied battleships, is coastal bombardment and soften up enemy targets. If you can take out enemy battleships, then there's less firepower for the Allies. Good. So maybe talk a lot shortly about China, but there was no change. Bombardment in the north, and why I won't change it. I catch up with this Chinese forces, so next time I can attack this and also take out this one. The Chinese are running here and I am behind, so next time, yeah, still 6 units. I will cross the river next hex, so if Jochen can leave the hex, then we have no battle. If anything is left, then I will normally send it back to heaven. Because here's a shock attack. Here is not so easy because I can only follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up. And the question is where Jochen will stop. Maybe, no. I don't know if Jochen will fight for the cities. If not, it's fine for me. For me, is Kueyang the #1 goal. If I can take this city, then the whole Chinese supply line with Burma Road will fall. So if I take this city, then of course I think I must move to Kunming. Yeah, here's also a small street, okay. But anyway, I mean, I would say if I can catch this city, the Burma Road stuff is not more so important. Yeah. But no big change here. This is a little slow progress. But still, the strategic situation looks for me now much better. I have Xi'an, I have the center of China. Everything is coming now. If I can take these 2-3 cities here in the source, then I'm really fine. If I can take also these 2 more cities as an additional benefit, I push China's units far more in center, more away from the coastline, and this simply make it more easy or more safe for any shipment. Worst case scenario is if the Chinese still control these cities and they can later use any kind of long range bombers and attack Hong Kong or any shipping here in Takao. That can be a pain in the ass. So take the center and take these 3-4 cities and push China back and secure the waters. So you have only to fight submarines and not even no navy bombers. So any other information? Maybe I can short look on the industry again, but I think I did this already, so no other need. Airframe, I'm now at 400, so I need 100 more of so 32 is coming closer and closer, but I still have no airframe requests, so it's not really in demand. And the 33 is still only at 50%, so I still need 240 or 238 engines. I can produce, if I don't consume any airframe, I produce here now 150 airframes per month. So with a little, if I still increase the output, I would say at 1st of May, I will have the bonus, but not before. It's simply not possible. There's no event coming to give me free engines. So I will increase the production of this engine, and 1st of May I get the bonus. Yeah, the H34 is already in bonus, and the H35 is still also far away, but still no airframe consumes this or requests this. Again, you can see one more zero will soon switch. One more, I mean, maybe tomorrow already, next turn already, I can get here the switch. Then it's the 30. Once this is a 30, I can change it to the A6 M8. And then I have 4 factories producing here already, R&D. Then I get 4% per day. And here's one, at least one, this factory also looks close, coming maybe this month. So then there's still 2 more or 3 more factories. But this is really always once per week you can check this, nothing more, nothing more. So maybe I did one mistake with this, you can call it a mistake, but I simply say, okay, I go directly for the last Helen. But there's a big gap between the Helen 2A and 2B is 1 year difference. Of course the 2B have really the better armament, we can compare this shortly. So many here. So only to explain, this is the Helen, this is the most modern Japanese medium army bomber. It's an army bomber. And the Japanese don't have heavy bombers, so they have only light and medium bombers. This is the engine you get normally in April 42. And there's no need to increase, to develop normally this R&D tool. It is only, you put R&D into this airframe to get the R&D tool running, and then you can switch it to the next in the line. Because this is a production or R&D line. Every follow-up airframe based on this airframe you can change your R&D tool for free to the next in line. So this is the original one. It is first okay, and most of the values will not change. The problem is here still, it have more hit points but still lacking armor. And the defense equipment is still only light machine guns. Light machine guns have no impact. It will never work against allied aircraft. So the range is okay. The bomb load is okay for medium bomber. So all of these values are okay. But if you compare this to a Key 21, then you will say there's no big difference. The Key 21 or this Key 49A 1A is more or less the same. You can see this is the best of the Key 21. It's coming out a little later in end of 42, but this one also has the same hit points, similar speed, same bomb load, a little more range. The armament is more or less the same, we can say, but also no armor protection. So the big difference is once you have the Lily, oops, sorry. 49. Once the R&D tool reach here the 100 or the 30 to 0, you can change this. Then you change the R&D tool and you don't try to get R&D points for the 1A. You go directly to the 2A. You can go to the 2A and then you try to push for this airframe. And this is it's faster, a little faster. Most important is have now armor protection. As this is a big change. It have armor protection. This will not save this airplane, but it make it more hard to shut down. Let's say this. And you get 2 more hexes range. And I think this is also important for many operations. Let's say this. And you can change your AMD tool to this airframe, but you can immediately change your AMD tool also to the next coming airframe type, and this is the 2B. And this is the last in the line. There's no other airframe coming. So, and I did this. I changed to this airframe, but it's 1 year later. And what you get for this 1 year later is more or less all of this, or nearly all of the light machine guns gets kicked out for heavy machine guns. And this is the same armament like the American B-17s have. A heavy machine gun bullet can normally penetrate armor. The damage is maybe not critical, but at least it can hurt an enemy fighter. So if there's an enemy interceptor coming and they get damaged by this machine gun, they will maybe not die, but maybe they get damaged and have to return to base. This is the only change really for 2A to 2B. And if it makes sense to push for this one and skip the 2A, hard to say. I would still say you don't need to produce the 1A. The 1A is a really no need. I mean, if you want, yeah, but there's no benefit over the Key 21. Good, this for this kind of topic. I think this is first enough. If you have any other questions, let me know and I try to answer. See you all, take care, bye bye.